To show the destruction features, we will create a new level, and this is the starting point that you get when you press this button. It could be a start of a new level, but then you can of course adjust everything like the background, the effects, and that's shown in another video. But for now we will just create something new, and I want to reuse the style of a certain level, and it should be here. No, it's actually here. This one, and then create a rectangular area as a starting point for our level. So something like this, and then we can delete this starting objects, and this is the starting point. So let's also create a rectangular shape to the side, something like this, and then move it so it is aligned, but my grid snapping is off, so I'll draw it again so you can see it's aligned properly. And then this is of course the erase menu, and we already seen this icon is just removing everything that is either selected. For instance, if I click it now, it will be deleted, but I don't want that. And also, if you have, for instance, some objects in your scene like this, and this one is selected, you see here it is in the erase at point mode, and then if you hit an object with your cursor, it will be erased. So that's another way to remove objects. And this one I will now demonstrate. It's primarily used to cut away ground, as it's saying here, but you can also use it to delete objects. So let's see what this is capable of doing. Maybe you can see is a rectangular shape that will be used to cut away ground or objects, but in this case mostly it's used if you have large rectangular areas and you want to remove some pieces of it, like this. You could also of course use it to, if you have a line like this, and you can chop it in two. That's another way. Or you can make it shorter. And also, if you can also use it to delete objects. Okay, let's finish this one. like that. So now we have a kind of a starting point. We can save the level. And also another nice feature that you can use is to duplicate part of your level. So let's go to the select option and we will select all the objects here. We want to duplicate them in this direction like that, and then also we can use the transform menu to flip it in the X direction. So here we have a starting point and deselect everything. Okay, so this is a starting point, and then let's see what else is nice to do. You can also destroy objects using weapons, and let's just build a simple structure here, and then we will see how the player can destroy that using a certain weapon. So also here we could build a tower like this and then duplicate it upwards. And one of the weapons which will cause destruction in the environment is the chaos bomb. So let's add that one. That's actually this power up. We'll place it here. And also nice to have, for that bomb, it's nice to have a jetpack. So we'll place a jetpack here. And deselect everything. And this jetpack power-up has a certain amount of fuel, and we want to, for this level, we want to reduce that. Let's say like 300, something like that. Okay, let's save this and then test it. So I have saved it, so now I can test the level and then see. I can deselect this one if it's working as I want. So I have a jetpack here, and if I fire, then you can see everything that is being hit by the chaos bomb is being destroyed. Also, the ground level is being destroyed. So that's a good starting point, but let's just undo, and then you can use this chaos bomb, of course, to destroy parts here and then reach, for instance, into an area here. So we could create an area like this that the player can access. That's the first option. And another option we have is this one. It actually explodes like that. So that gives another effect. So what we want now is to place some diamonds here that the player needs to collect. The collectibles, the diamonds, and choose maybe a yellow color for the diamonds here, and then create them along a line. About 6 is now selected. Let's say we want to have 5 along a line. And there we have them. And let's also duplicate these ones. So select 5 diamonds and duplicate upwards. So then the player will see I have to reach this area, and here are the power-ups you can use to break through. And let's save. Then to demonstrate another chaos weapon, that's this one, we will put this here. And maybe we also want to duplicate the jetpack. So I'm selecting this one, and then yeah, we can just duplicate it so it has this limited amount of fuel, and then we move it, pressing for half a second. And then we move it like that. So let's save. And if it has the chaos weapon here, we could create other holes to reach this area here. So let's deselect everything and create some more holes in this structure. Maybe a big one here. Let's not do it like that. So the player has to use this chaos weapon to be able to go through this area. And maybe another one here. And then finally here, player can go upwards, and it's also nice maybe to place obstacles here, so the player needs to go like this. So let's select something else and create a rectangular area here like this. And we can see it's not grid aligned, so just move it like that. And then you can of course think, well, the player can just move like that, so we could use special objects to block that. The specials, here are some deadly objects, so if the player hits that one, it will also destroy the environment here. And we want to create it as a circle. Let's do it like this, just as an example. And then again we want to have some diamonds here, so let's go to this menu, select these ones, and again we want to duplicate them and then move them. Here's the move, and I'll just place them here. And we see now the diamonds have been snapped because this is set to snap to grid, so let's undo that and then do it again. like that. So we have kind of a starting point for a simple level, which is in this case as a demonstration to use these chaos weapons. So let's save it and then play test it. I'll grab my controller. That player is not centered, so that's something we can change here. The camera following the player. Okay, this is... I could grab all the diamonds, but for demonstration purposes, my jetpack is... oh no, this is the sound of the... I have lost all my ammunition for the bombs, but that's okay. So we're now here. Now we want to break through this structure using the chaos weapon. Let's see, some objects, they fade out, and after some time you can move through them. And now I'm out of ammo, but I can go back to use this power up again. This is the signal that my jetpack is running out. So I have to go back. Also, so if a power up is done, then you can always go back. Be careful with this chaos weapon. Okay, so now I'm here, and just to show that if I was to just climb up the tower. So if you started the game, you don't have this jetpack. So now my fuel is out of fuel. So, and you want to try to do this, then that's that. That gets destroyed. Okay, so of course after playtesting in the editor, you have to be careful to reset it using the undo button. So now you see everything is back to how it was, and you can of course always save it, and here is an option to reload the level. So that's another way. If you want to go back to a previous state, you can also use this this one. So this is a introduction of destruction of this menu. So we have seen deleting an object and cutting away ground or creating explosions. This button is to reset to some starting point, very simple level, and you can always undo that, and then you go back to where your previous state. And we see some other options here. This is the nuke level, so that can also be interesting. Just for fun, if I press it, and you'll see that the whole level is being randomly destroyed. So if you wait long enough, then everything will be gone, except the object where the player is standing on. It will not be destroyed. And you can also pause it by pausing the simulation, and we can undo it, so we can just go back. This was the starting point. So this can be used just for fun, but also when you're creating a level and you want to have some kind of destruction feel to it, you can just hit it and then pause it. And then if you play again, then the destruction is stopped. Well, in this case it may not be that interesting, but you can imagine that if you have a certain level, it's nice to create some destruction in it and use this as a starting point. You can of course edit it again. So that's one way of playing with it, and this other one is the airstrike. It's something similar, but then you see you can also pause that one like that. Then the destruction comes from above, and of course you can also undo that. So I have paused, so now it's finished. Undo this. So this was our starting point. So if you click it, then you get this. And this reminds me of another option you have, just to play around in the editor. Let's pause it and undo. And that is, you can of course add objects, create objects to create your levels, like seriously, but there's also an option called projectile fun, and then you can, for instance, just add these projectiles yourself. So if I simulate here, and I can create a bomb like this, but in this case I have to of course create them as a dynamic object, otherwise it will not fall down. And let's add it like this. So you have more control about what you want to destroy. So this you can also use to adjust your level a bit to create a more destructive look and feel. And also with this one you can create bigger ones. So I guess that's it for the erase menu. We have seen all the options. So let's end this one with the airstrike.